So we've just jumped off the A11 bus here, coming up from the south west of the island over here to Palma Airport. We are Bristol bound today and we're heading to the UK. Now, 48 hours ago, I got a message from easyJet saying to get through a passport control very, very quickly. Don't stop, head on straight through. I think they know something that we don't today. We're expecting queues. Let's go and see if it's as bad as they say it is. I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to head on through Palma Airport. Join me on my journey back to the UK. Okay, so we've just come into the departure lounge. I've come out right in front of the easyJet check-in area, but I'm just going to check on the flights this morning. So great news today. I can see we have absolutely no delays apart from one delay going out to Geneva later on this morning. Everything else looks pretty good, slightly different from what we experienced just about 10 days ago actually now when we were heading over to Italy and also coming back. We've got no strikes today, which is an absolute relief, hoping for a smoother journey. Anyway, let's head on down towards the security area. So on our last trip through Palma Airport on our way to Milan, this whole area, this whole easyJet area was completely empty because of course it was during the easyJet strikes and most of the flights were cancelled. But not today. As you can see, things are operating as normal. Now we've arrived here 2 hours before our flight departs, and that's when check-in opens for flights. I would recommend getting here a little bit earlier. As you can see, the queues are actually quite long. It's going to be the same over at the Ryanair desks as well, but we're just travelling with hand luggage today, so we're heading straight into the direction of the security area. Now, don't forget, if you haven't seen my airport videos, that security is on the ground floor. It's just to the left-hand side of the easyJet check-in desks. Don't have to go upstairs anymore. Oh look, I'm just coming up past the United Airlines area here. Looks like we've got a flight going out to Newark. If you're travelling back to the USA, this is where you come to. Just opposite the easyJet area, look, you've got Premier access route as well, probably if you're travelling first class. How exciting. Anyway, let's head on through security today. So security took about 3 minutes. It's very, very fast this morning. Don't forget, always mention it, leave everything in your bags. We still have a 100 millilitre liquids limit over here in Mallorca, but leave all your liquids in your bags. You don't need to separate anything, your liquids or your electronics. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the board. So we're heading out of Terminal A today. I can see, like I said, our flight is running on time. So let's head on up and over towards Terminal A. So as you can see here, look how huge the security area here is in Palma Airport. It stretches right down the length of departures. But look, we're all channeled up and through the duty-free area. So you can see right at the top of the escalator here, we're met by a huge duty-free area. And there's a temptation here to stop and shop, but we're not going to do that today. In fact, easyJet, Ryanair, any of the airlines coming out of the UK this summer, feel free to use my strapline. Do not stop and do not shop until you clear border control if you're travelling to the United Kingdom this summer. And that's the direction that we're going to head in now. Let's go and head on over towards Terminal A. So if you're heading to the UK, veer off to the right-hand side as you're coming through duty-free, because we're going to come across a huge sign here which says turn right. And don't forget, they've got all of these shops, albeit fewer shops, but shops all the same, over on the other side of border control. Oh my goodness, look, I can see the crowds heading towards Terminal A this morning. It is very, very busy here this morning at Palma Airport. A lot of people getting here early as well. Again, look, you've got lots of restaurants and cafes. Don't stop at these either, as tempting as they may look. Just head on straight through, and you can see the amount of people who've got heading through Terminal A this morning. If they've only got a couple of policemen on today, there are going to be queues. Now I'm actually wondering whether many of these passengers that are coming through this area today are actually heading towards the exit, as you can see on my left-hand side. I think they are. Now don't forget, if you watch my flight video coming back into the island just a few days ago, when we had the air traffic control strikes, I did mention, be very careful when you come to this area. If it's your first time through Palma Airport, do not turn left here. You're going to head towards the exit. Keep walking straight until you get to the escalators or the lift. So we're just coming up to a very huge McDonald's here, by the looks of it. I have heard that Palma Airport has one of the biggest McDonald's in Europe. Just pointing out to my right hand side, there is a lift. There's also a lift to the left hand side of the escalators. What a difference though, look, the airport here, they've made so many works. This whole area is new. It's very, very light and open. Now, initially good news here, look, we don't have queues coming out of the border control area. So I think I'm going to have to switch my camera off now, and I'll let you know how we get on the other side.
That's far.
Okay, so that is border control cleared. I'm going to let you know how long that took. But as you can see, look, we've entered the duty-free area here in Terminal A. Got loads of choice of perfumes, alcohol, cigarettes, that kind of thing. And as we come into Terminal A here, into the departures area, it's looking rather busy. Take a quick look at the flight board here. Everything is looking pretty good from here, no delays. We're expecting our gate now to be called in just 6 minutes. So I'm going to grab a coffee and also grab a bottle of water as well. So don't forget, they've got plenty of drinks machines in this area as well. I think it's around €1.50, €1.60. A little bit cheaper as well than buying from these fast food outlets. Now check this out, this is how they're getting special assistance passengers around this summer. Almost on like a mini land train here, look. We've got one person taking 3 passengers, which is actually a really, really good idea. So just looking to my right here, look, we've got a United Airlines flight that's just arrived here in Palma today from Newark. Got the Americans coming in, I can just see them disembarking to my right hand side. Now let me know what your experience has been flying United this summer as well, and whether you've been caught up in the queues at passport control over here at Palma Airport, if you've been flying to or from America. I'd love to know. I know some days that we do get queues over in passport control, but not today, thank goodness. Anyway, look, and there goes another little land train here with special assistance. Gentleman there though, he's accompanying his partner. So just taking a very quick look at the board here. Now our flight's due out at 10:05. It's currently 8:55 and our gate number has already been called. We're departing out of A8 and they're going to start boarding at 9:15. Don't even know if we've got time for coffee. Anyway, let's go and find at A8. So we are right at the end of the airport here. I think we're going to head down this way. I have to give a coffee a miss until we get over to Bristol. So just coming past the arrivals area here, passport control for the arrivals area. Just coming up past all these EES entry-exit machines, not yet in use. They've actually rolled out even more of them, which is quite incredible. But look, we can see our American arrivals coming in. I don't think they're subject to too many queues today. But look at all these machines. Now the EES is going to be rolled out, I do believe, at the latter end of 2025, probably going into 2026. Don't forget, I'll keep you updated about that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's see what chaos that causes at European airports from next year. But anyway, we're walking out into a new area of the terminal, of Terminal A. Now, if you've been following the channel, you'll know that we've got loads of works taking place over here at Palma Airport, and this area is absolutely huge, obviously to accept more arriving and departing flights. The aircon's really nice and crispy down here as well, I have to say. It's a little bit hotter up the other side. Take a wander down here. Check this out, look. It's a huge new area. Okay, so I've got some good news. I've got some very, very good news. Now, you may remember, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, we flew off to Milan, we flew off to Italy for a holiday, and our flight was cancelled by a strike which took place with easyJet. Now, I had an email just yesterday confirming that we will be receiving a compensation, 250 euros per person. So I was travelling with my daughter, and they'll be putting 500 euros into my bank account, which I'm absolutely delighted by. Plus, I'm just waiting to hear as well, they have to refund the costs of our flight as well from that day, because obviously we had to get new flights. We flew Ryanair in the end to go to, instead of Malpensa Airport in Milan, we went to Bergamo, but easyJet also have to refund the cost of our flights or give us a flight voucher or whatever it was I opted for, but we did get that compensation. Now, anyone caught up in the air traffic control strikes, you're not going to be as lucky, unfortunately. It wasn't the fault of the airline, so they would have just provided meals or overnight stays or reasonable expenses to get you to where you're going. But in our case, because it was an airline strike, we got compensation, and I'm absolutely delighted about that. So I've also heard as well rumour that there may well be further easyJet strikes taking place in August. I will keep you posted about those. There's nothing confirmed yet, there are no dates confirmed, but there has been rumour that we could have further strikes taking place. So, like I've said, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're following the Mallorca Under the Sun official Facebook page as well. If I hear news of strikes, I'll post it there too. But for the time being, I'm keeping our fingers crossed that we're going to get through today quite quickly. Now, just to wind back, actually, going through a passport control was very, very quick today. It took about 20 minutes. The e-gates were open for over 18-year-olds to go through. Anyone with kids travelling had to go through the police booths. There were just 2 police on the booths today. But I was very pleased to see, actually, that the special assistance passengers were being taken through on a separate booth and a separate queue that was very, very short and small, and they got through really, really quickly. I'm also very pleased to see as well that they've done something to combat those staffing issues, or the staffing issues over here at Palma Airport. We've seen little land trains here going by, one person able to take about 3 passengers through the airport at once, so that's at least good to see. Anyway, we are in this brand new area of Palma Airport here over in Terminal A. It's nice and cool. Haven't got the coffee yet. I would like to see a few more shops down here. I'm sure they'll be coming very soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and head on over to our gate, because I think boarding is starting in just a couple of minutes. And fingers crossed, we're not going to come across any air traffic control issues today, and we're going to get to Bristol on time. But keep following this video and let's see. And I have to say as well, we've got no cloud today. We should get some amazing views as we depart Palma. So let's find out. Anyway, come on, let's go and head over to the gate. And look at this, look, our flight is already in and waiting, and look, we've got passengers disembarking. Lots of happy holiday makers coming into the island, and the warm weather is still here. We've got highs today of around 33 degrees. Now, this far end of Terminal A doesn't look like it's fully opened yet, but we do have more air bridges. I hope it's got rid of the need actually to get the buses to the planes. Got plenty of seating down here as well, but this has only just opened recently, I would say. Very nice addition. It saves having to get the buses around the airport, runway 1, well, that's a good thing. And they are checking baggage sizing today. Got nice lights and very, very cold air bridge here. We're speeding boarding today just because we're taking cabin baggage onto the flight. No, we're not hanging around today. They're getting us on the flight pretty quickly. This could well be our fastest passage through the airport for quite a while. Just looking down the runway here, look at all the Jet2 flights lined up. You can still see that United Airlines flight as well, waiting to go out this morning. Probably heading on back to Newark. You can see that they're getting our luggage on here.
Well, yeah, everybody, welcome aboard. This is Jet Flight shortly departing for Bristol. My name is Ollie Jones. I'm going to be the captain aboard today's flight. Join me in the flight deck day, Senior First Officer Ryan Kessel. In the back, in charge of the cabin, you've got Nick. He's joined at the front by Cassidy. And at the back by Kyla and Sandra. That is everybody on board now, so we are almost ready to go. We do have an air traffic control restriction today, just means we can't go too much earlier than our on-time departure. Flight time today looking around 2 hours and 15 minutes. It should be a relatively smooth flight all the way back towards Bristol today. Weather back in the UK, be glad to hear it's a very nice day indeed. Temperatures looking to get up towards 27 degrees Celsius with clear skies and light winds.
Look at the queue here. Look at the queue here. Look, we're pushing in front of the Jet2 flight here, which is waiting to take off. Look at this, right beyond the wing here. We're only in July, but you can see the farmers are harvesting already. It's all the dust as well. You can just see how dry it is over here in Mallorca at the moment. And look, we're getting out before the private jet goes out. Wonder who's on that one this morning. We've got Justin Bieber on the island. We've got Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, to name a few. Anyway. But that is where the good views end today. You can just about make out the outline of the coast. We do have the sunshine right ahead of us. We're heading on out on the northwest of the island, beyond Sawyer, and heading on now in the direction of Bristol. What a lovely temperature we have here in Bristol today. I think we've got highs of around 27 degrees. I don't think I've ever flown into Bristol wearing a t-shirt. I say that, the Spanish guy in front of me has just put a coat on. So it's much cooler than it is in Palma, but the sun does feel very strong on my back here, which is very unusual, but also very welcome as well. We have arrived into summer in the UK, and by all accounts, a little bit of a heat wave too. Anyway, let's go and see how busy it is at border control today as we come through the arrivals area at Bristol Airport. So we've come in more or less right at the end of the terminal here, and I've just seen a sign saying it's 410 metres to passport control. Look, little sign here giving you the distance. If you think you can't walk this distance, make sure you do book special assistance. It's quite a hike. And we are still walking. It is very much quite a long walk. I haven't filmed the whole lot of it, but you can actually see how far we're coming along here. We're still not at passport control just yet. And we're here at passport control. Okay, so passport control took about 3 minutes. It's very, very quick getting through this afternoon. But we're not going to stick around here in this arrivals area. We've got the baggage area here, suitcases are coming out. We're going to head on into arrivals. And I can't believe this. We were greeted by border control here with a sniffer dog, a very cute black sniffer dog. And I have a feeling that he's sniffing out meat and dairy products. As you may remember, or as you may well have heard, you cannot bring meat or dairy products into the UK at the moment from the European Union. There is a foot and mouth disease outbreak, so just bear that in mind if you're shopping at the duty free in the airport. Okay everyone, we're going to be flying back to Palma in a few days. We're just over here to see the family. And we're going to be flying back Ryanair, and now I've got plenty of Ryanair news for you in our flight video flying back to Mallorca. So like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.